Picture this, entire neighborhoods plunged into darkness, temperatures dropping below freezing, families huddled together, burning furniture just to stay warm. This isn't some apocalyptic movie. This happened in Texas, in the Midwest, and it could happen where you live. When the power dies and temperatures plummet, do you have what it takes to survive? FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, has quietly updated their cold weather survival list, and what they're recommending might surprise you. These aren't expensive, high-tech gadgets or fancy survival gear. They're 9 simple, affordable tools that most people completely overlook until it's too late. Each one could mean the difference between a miserable, dangerous night and keeping your family safe and warm when the grid fails. Stay with me until the end, because knowing these essentials could literally save your life. Welcome to Food Decider, where we break down the survival knowledge you need to protect what matters most. And if you find this valuable, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss critical information like this. Let's start with the most immediate threat during a winter blackout, your body temperature. When the furnace goes silent and the house grows cold, most people think about heating the entire space. But here's the truth. In a real emergency, survival isn't about heating the building, it's about keeping your body warm enough to stay alive. Battery-powered heat devices are designed for exactly this purpose. We're talking about rechargeable hand warmers, battery-heated gloves, and heated vests that deliver direct, targeted warmth to your chest, back, hands, and feet. One fully charged battery pack can provide several hours of steady heat. And here's the brilliant part. You don't need one for every person in your household. A single device can be rotated among family members, each person taking a turn to stabilize their body temperature while bundled under blankets. Why does this matter so much? Because hypothermia is insidious. It doesn't start with violent shivering, it starts with fatigue, with foggy thinking, as your core temperature slips degree by degree without you realizing the danger you're in. The moment you slip a warm pack under your coat or activate a heated vest, you regain control. You're buying critical hours of safety until morning comes or help arrives. Stock up on rechargeable hand warmers and heated clothing now. Keep extra charged battery packs ready. When everything else fails, you don't need to heat the house, you just need to heat yourself. But battery-powered devices eventually run out of power. That's where the oldest survival tool in human history comes in, heavy-duty blankets. And I'm not talking about those thin fleece throws you curl up with on the couch. When the temperature drops into dangerous territory, those won't cut it. You need wool blankets, military surplus blankets, or modern synthetic versions specifically built for cold survival. Here's the science. Heavy blankets trap air, hold heat, and keep working even if they get damp. Wool in particular insulates whether it's wet or dry and can last for decades. When a blackout hits and you're trapped inside a house that's rapidly losing heat, a heavy blanket creates a microclimate under the covers. It conserves your body's energy hour after hour, preventing the slow drain that leads to hypothermia. These blankets are more than just comfort items. Use them as ground tarps to insulate yourself from cold floors. Hang them over drafty doors to stop cold air infiltration. Layer them over windows for extra insulation. Keep them rolled and ready for multi-purpose use. Thin blankets might feel okay at first, but they allow heat loss to continue quietly, putting you at risk, especially if you're elderly, sick, or caring for children. Heavy-duty blankets silently hold the line, keeping your heart beating steady until help arrives. Stock at least 1 or 2 for every person in your home. Prioritize substance over softness. This is about survival, not comfort. Now, while we're on the subject of keeping warm, let's talk about body warmers, those small chemical packets you might have seen but never really thought about. These are among the most effective, underrated, life-saving tools you can have in a winter emergency. Body warmers produce portable heat exactly where you need it most. Place them on your chest, along your spine, or on your stomach to support your vital organs. Slip them into gloves, boots, or underlayers of clothing for deep, penetrating warmth. Here's what makes them different from blankets. Body warmers generate new heat. They don't just trap the warmth your body produces, they create additional heat that radiates into your core. Emergency shelters that stock body warmers have documented lower rates of hypothermia and higher survival rates during winter blackouts. They require no electricity, no setup, no maintenance. They're small, lightweight, and easy to stockpile. One packet can last for hours, giving you time to rest, recover, or keep moving. When the power is gone and blankets aren't enough, body warmers transform from comfort items into core survival armor. Now, keeping your body warm is critical, but there's another battle you're fighting during a winter blackout: the battle against heat loss. Your home is bleeding warmth, and the biggest culprit might surprise you. It's your windows. Glass might look solid, but in freezing weather, it's essentially a wide open door for thermal escape. Most people worry about their heaters when the power goes out, but the real enemy is the heat pouring out of your house through every single window. FEMA and the Department of Energy both recommend insulating your windows during cold snaps, and you don't need expensive gear to do it. Thick blankets, foam board, cardboard, or plastic sheeting layered with fabric can all do the job.
Even old quilts, newspaper, and duct tape can make a significant difference. The key is creating an air barrier between the cold glass and your living space. Properly fitted insulated window covers can cut heat loss by almost half. Let that sink in. That's the difference between shivering through the night or waking up comfortable enough to actually function. Prepare your window covers in advance. Measure your windows. Gather materials. Whatever you have on hand works. When the blackout hits, seal those windows tightly to trap air and block thermal leaks. When the power outage stretches from hours into days, those insulated covers become the difference between conserving precious heat or losing it all to the frozen night outside. But conserving heat only takes you so far. At some point, you need to generate new heat. When the electrical grid collapses, your electric heaters become useless paperweights. That's where fuel-powered radiant heaters come in. Propane heaters, kerosene heaters, or catalytic heaters designed specifically for moments when electricity is gone, but warmth is absolutely essential. This is why FEMA recommends them. These heaters run completely independently of the power grid and deliver heat directly to your body and your surroundings. Modern models come equipped with critical safety features like oxygen depletion sensors and tip-over shutoffs, but you need to respect these devices. Keep them at least 3 feet away from curtains, furniture, or anything flammable. Ensure proper ventilation. You need fresh air exchange to prevent carbon monoxide buildup. Only refuel when the heater is completely cool. Follow the manufacturer's guidelines strictly because mistakes with these heaters can be fatal. That said, when used correctly, they become your lifeline. Blankets conserve heat, but radiant heaters create it. In a crisis, that flame becomes your ally, your source of hope, your barrier against the killing cold. Stock propane canisters or kerosene now. Learn how to use your heater safely before you're fumbling with it in the dark. Make it part of your emergency plan. Radiant heat might be the single flame that holds off despair during a winter blackout. And while we're talking about heat, don't underestimate one of the most overlooked survival tricks: warming yourself from within. A thermal insulated water bottle is more than just a trendy accessory. It's a silent, reliable survival partner that can keep you going when everything else fails. These bottles keep hot drinks hot for 8 to 10 hours. Think about that. You boil water once, fill your bottle, and you have steady warmth available all through the night. Every sip delivers heat directly inside your body, warming you from your core outward. But there's another critical benefit. These bottles prevent dehydration, which is a hidden danger in cold weather. When it's freezing, you don't feel thirsty the way you do in summer, but your body is still losing moisture. Dehydration makes you more vulnerable to hypothermia, weakens your immune system, and clouds your thinking. Old-timers use simple thermoses to keep water hot through long winter nights. Modern insulated bottles are even more efficient, maintaining temperature for longer and with better durability. They serve a dual purpose: keep hot drinks hot for warmth, and when you're melting snow for water, prevent that water from freezing again when you leave it outside. FEMA approves this tool specifically because of its durability, reusability, and ability to provide both warmth and hydration in one simple package. Stock several. Keep them accessible. When the cold creeps indoors, they become more valuable than gold. Now let's shift focus to another critical aspect of winter survival: sustaining yourself. Heat keeps you alive, but you also need fuel for your body. When the power goes down and supply chains freeze solid, hunger becomes a silent threat that most people don't see coming. Shelf-stable emergency food packs are specifically designed for this scenario. We're talking about freeze-dried meals, vacuum-sealed ration bars, retort pouches of stews, rice, or tuna, and multi-day kits designed to last 5, 10, or even 25 years on the shelf. These packs require minimal preparation, often just water, and many can be eaten cold if you have no way to heat them. They're nutritionally balanced for survival, providing the calories, protein, and nutrients your body desperately needs when it's burning through energy trying to stay warm. Here's your strategy. Store a variety of foods: soups, grains, proteins, high-calorie bars. Spread your supplies across multiple locations: your home, your car, your go bag. Rotate your stock yearly to maintain freshness. The reason FEMA pushes this so hard is simple. When the storm hits, the grocery stores are either mobbed, empty, or inaccessible. You can't eat good intentions. You need actual food, ready to go, requiring no refrigeration and no fancy preparation. Stock emergency food packs now, not when the storm is already overhead and it's too late. But food alone isn't enough. You also need light. When the power cuts out, darkness becomes almost as crushing as the cold. Flashlights are great, but batteries die. LED lamps help, but they rarely last through prolonged outages. That's why the classic kerosene lamp remains one of the most reliable tools in winter survival. A kerosene lamp provides a warm, steady glow for 15 to 20 hours on a single fill. It offers more than just illumination. It provides psychological comfort and even a touch of physical warmth. When you're sitting in a frozen, dark house, that gentle flame becomes a beacon of hope. You can adjust the wick for wide ambient light or focus it for reading and tasks. Place mirrors behind it to amplify the light. And here's the beauty. Kerosene fuel can be stored for years if sealed properly, making these lamps a true long-term solution.
Keep your lamps stable and away from flammable materials. Store extra wicks and learn how to trim them properly for clean burning. Ventilate the space when the lamp is in use. A kerosene lamp is more than a light source. It's a symbol that you're not helpless. It's proof that you prepared, that you thought ahead, that you can maintain some sense of normalcy even when the world outside has gone dark and cold. And speaking of maintaining normalcy, let's talk about cooking. When your kitchen goes dark, most modern appliances become useless. Electric stoves, microwaves, even gas stoves with electronic igniters, all dead weight. The multifuel camping stove, however, is built for complete independence. These stoves can run on kerosene, white gas, propane, alcohol, or even small chunks of wood. They don't rely on electric igniters or gas company supply lines. They're designed to work anywhere, anytime, with whatever fuel you can find. Set one up safely in a garage, on a porch, or on a balcony. Use it to boil water for sanitation and drinking. Cook hot meals to maintain warmth and morale. Even the small amount of heat they produce while cooking can make a difference in a freezing space. Fire is life in survival situations, and a multi-fuel stove is portable fire on demand. Choose a stove that accepts multiple fuel types for maximum flexibility. Store fuel safely and in sufficient quantities. Practice setting it up and operating it before you actually need it. When the crisis hits and your family needs a hot meal to keep fighting the cold, this stove becomes worth its weight in gold. And speaking of maintaining normalcy, let's talk about cooking. Let's bring this all together. Notice something about these 9 essentials. None of them are flashy. None of them are high-tech. None of them are complicated. They're simple, proven tools chosen for one reason. They work when the grid doesn't. Most people wait until the storm is already here before thinking about preparation. They scramble for blankets and batteries, hoping the power comes back quickly. But by then, it's too late. The stores are empty. The roads are impassable. You're on your own with whatever you have in your house at that moment. Survival isn't about reacting. It's about preparing before the crisis begins. Whether it's a multi-fuel stove to keep meals hot, a thermal bottle that locks in warmth for hours, or body warmers that shield your core against freezing nights, each of these items represents more than comfort. They represent independence. They represent the power to protect your family when the infrastructure fails. Here's what you need to do right now. First, assess your needs. Count the number of people in your household. Consider special needs, elderly family members, children, anyone with medical conditions. Second, start gathering supplies. Battery-powered heat devices, heavy-duty blankets, materials for insulated window covers, a fuel-powered radiant heater with fuel, shelf-stable emergency food packs, a classic kerosene lamp with fuel and wicks, a multi-fuel camping stove with fuel, thermal insulated water bottles, body warmers. Get these items now while you can shop calmly and compare options. Third, store everything properly and create a rotation system. Keep your supplies accessible and organized. Rotate food and batteries annually so nothing expires. Test your devices and practice safe operation before you need them in the dark. Fourth, plan for communication and safety. Keep a battery-powered radio for emergency updates. Store extra batteries and waterproof matches. Review safety guidelines for your heaters and lamps until you could operate them safely in your sleep. Winter blackouts are not a what-if scenario. They're a when. When that moment comes, you'll want more than good intentions and crossed fingers. You'll want the actual gear that keeps you fed, hydrated, and warm enough to push through until help arrives or power returns. Take FEMA's advice seriously. Gather these tools now. Test them. Store them where you can reach them in seconds when the lights go out.